a gifted singer-songwriter. She wrote Until It's Time for You to Go, which Elvis sang so convincingly. During one of our interviews, Buffy recited the words to her song Moonshot, which was her indigenous Cree perspective of man landing on the moon. We became friends. She attended my 30th birthday, and I stayed at her home while on vacation in Hawaii. She is a brilliant and talented woman who time cannot contain. While preparing this website for a launch, I happened to watch the final Discovery liftoff on CNN. I was reminded of our interview. For me, the space program was America's greatest contribution of my generation, or perhaps any other. But Buffy did not see it that way. She did marvel at the technical achievement of the science. However, in her song she writes about, quote, a boy so primitive he can call me up without a telephone.
I sense you had a thought about the Apollo 16, the space shot. What are your impressions of that? How do you view that? Is that good or a waste of time? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is that I think something different than the thoughts I'm hearing around, Either it's good or it's bad, I just relate to it in a completely different way than what I've heard expressed. I don't know if other people feel the same way as I do, but I haven't heard my thoughts expressed on it. When all that first started is when I wrote Moonshot. And the first moonshot happened when I was at home. And I was listening to my father, and he said, those white people don't know what they're doing. He said, they ought to leave that moon alone. And I smiled, and he smiled, and I knew that he was kind of putting me on. And I wrote a song called Moonshot, which has to do with the fact that people are looking to the moonshot kind of as an establishment of their own identity, insofar as now we can say we're civilized. I mean, I've seen this in people's minds. People feeling as though, well, this is a great achievement for us as civilized people. And yet I bet Columbus's people felt the same way when America was discovered. And Moonshot, the song, it says, off into outer space you go, my friends, we wish you bon voyage. We, meaning the natural people of the world. And when you get there, we will welcome you again, and still you'll wonder at it all. See all the wonders that you'll leave behind, the wonders humble people own. I know a boy from a tribe so primitive he can call me up without no telephone. And to me, you see, thinking in terms more of the individual human being more than as the society of Americans that we are, or the society of civilized intellectual brotherhood that we pretend to be. I think of the natural people of the earth, and I think of the contribution that the natural people are making to us all, as well as the contribution that the technical, those skilled in technical fields are making. Because obviously everybody thinks that the moonshot is a great contribution to civilization. And yet I think of the contribution that the rest of us make, the natural people, the Aborigines in Australia, the Lapps in Scandinavia, the people in Africa who are still considered natural tribal people, the people in the islands, the less sophisticated people, the people who still live on farms and reservations, and pockets of individuality all over the natural planet. See, this is what really brings me up in the world today. I mean, I look at the moonshot and I say, wow, out of sight, but I don't really identify with it. And what I think about is what the natural people will be teaching the people of the National Administration of Space and Aeronautics and all that stuff. Sooner or later, when the Earth people get it together enough to, get far enough away from our own planet and our own concerns, we're going to discover what people keep discovering, namely that there's somebody else in the universe with us. Mm-hmm. Now you can apply that to people on other planets, or you can apply it to people in the room with you. It's the confrontation, the knowledge once and for all that we're not only not alone, but we can communicate from our own silence within us. And when it says, I know a boy from a tribe so primitive he can call me up without no telephone, that's a reference to the telepathic arts, which are really my concern. That's really what I'm concerned with in music, are the telepathic arts.
Define that and talk to us about it. What are the telepathic arts?
Oh, it's hard to define. It's something that has to be experienced as you experience art. I mean, it's hard to talk about any kind of art. But what I'm most interested in on a stage is not music, is not words, has nothing to do with sound vibrations, but has to do with another kind of vibration. I'm trying to nourish the people in a way that people need, that people are not getting from the presidential administration, from the parents and neighbors, that I really feel people are crying out in the night for, that people are ready for, that people are drawing to themselves as a magnet will draw iron to itself. And I find that it's something that's being welcomed, and I find that people are being nourished by it, and I find that it's something that I can give. I mean, the goal in the back of my mind would be to put out a record that didn't have any sound on it and have everybody understand every word.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
I really think that we were talking before about the natural people of the Earth and the natural people of, let's call it, other Earths or outer space. I really think that that's where sophistication leads to. And I think that the moonshot of today, I think that our space travel will lead eventually to true sophistication. I mean, I think it's just one step, and I think it's an unnecessary step. It is something that's going on, and I think that people who never leave the planet can discover the telepathic arts within themselves, the real arts of communication.
It's 8:30, you're listening to KLOS Los Angeles. It's a beautiful sound.
Thank you.
Pockets of individuality. The three words cling to my head now. Will it survive? Will the pockets of individuality last against the vast, ongoing concrete machine? Will we be able to sustain, or is it a losing battle?
It's going to sustain with me. It's going to sustain with you.
I hope so.
We're all right. There's two of us.
Do you find yourself sometimes losing the optimism or losing the spirit?
Nope. Then I'm in the wrong place and I go do something else.
What sustains you?
I don't know. I just don't believe in all that stuff they're telling me I'm supposed to believe in, and I believe in something else that, doesn't belong to words. I believe in something that belongs to something other than words, and it's even kind of funny to sit here and talk about it on the radio, but I swear it's real, and I know that there's a source of my being, and it doesn't. My being, my nourishment, my source of nourishment is not coming from the newspapers, and it didn't come from the education that I've had, and I don't even think it came from any kind of ethnic background. It's I'm just satisfied with nothing less than positivity, and I'm just not content to feel bad. I don't dig feeling bad. When I feel bad, about someone. I try to confront the person, if it's someone that I care about and want to be close to, as I care about America, and as I care about the planet. And I do what I can in my way, which happens to be music, to let people know where I think they're screwing up. And then I go about my own way. I don't sit around and sing my country 'tis of thy people you're dying all day, of course. I get back to where it's at, which is, something special for me, and I'm sure you have something special for you, too.